Even the fan club's rocking the cut. Honestly, if this guy at any point becomes a world champion, I will have this haircut. I'm saying it right now. Today on the show, we talk AFL and NRL. Formula 1 is back, the UFC, and this MLS keeper gets taken to the shops. Oh dear, Brad Guzan, look at that. He went on a 360 tour of the stadium. This is $0 given. Starting things off with the AFL, Geelong currently top of the table after hammering Essendon. We saw one of the biggest all-time coach sprays ever from Luke Beveridge. We saw Nick Martin of Essendon get the AFL Rising Star nomination this week, which, what the fuck? Josh Rochelle kicks 5 goals on debut and doesn't get it. Seriously, better not disrespect this kid too much, otherwise he will bugger off and play for Melbourne City. On to the NRL, where we saw a Hines conversion after the siren to seal the deal for the Sharks. There was a certain Sharks fan that was caught doing this during the kick. Can't actually show you it, but you know who I'm talking about. And can someone please explain how the hell there have been so many ACL injuries already this season? Everybody was losing their mind about this Latrell impression by Brandon Smith. I saw some people calling this disrespectful. Like, are we really taking the piss here? Unreal, but the Knights, Panthers, Broncos, and the Storm still with 2-0 records, and the Sea Eagles hilariously still bottom of the table. Formula 1 is back, and so too are Ferrari. Charles Leclerc winning the Bahrain Grand Prix. Looked like Verstappen was in there, but the Red Bulls choked. The Red Bulls failing to finish, by the way, meant that Hamilton got himself a very surprising podium indeed. Great moment, but Mercedes were almost a minute off the pace before the safety car came out, so big concerns for them this season. For the time being, though, I'm sure they're going to absolutely drink it in after the way last season finished. Have a look at this. You even had Lewis and Valtteri congratulating each other on their good performances. Bottas got sick. Could be cheering him for that, or could be thanking him for the 4 uncontested championships. We'll never know. Speaking of, like, championship races, Hamilton and Verstappen now have a bigger gap between them in points than they ever did at any point last season, which is wild. That is how insane last season's title race was, but I don't know if it's going to go to any of them. I think Charles Leclerc looks like he is going to be the favorite. He's the stronger of the Ferrari drivers. Ferrari looked the best. We could see the Monegasque be a new world champion. Can we also please give a shout out to a certain Kevin Magnussen, who didn't even have a drive like a month ago. Now he's finishing 5th in a hat. This is mental. Formula 1's gotten a real shake-up since the regulations, and I'm all for it. Bring on Saudi Arabia next week. Red Bulls weekend. That's actually amazing. We had UFC London this weekend, and Paddy the Baddie got his win. One of the greatest characters in the UFC right now. I mean, a lot of comparisons to McGregor, but I think of him more as like if Jay from the In-Betweeners was from Liverpool. Oh, I tell you who else I think he looks like. Oh my God, yeah, dead rigger for David Spade in the bench warmers. Even the fan club's rocking the cut. Honestly, if this guy at any point becomes a world champion, I will have this haircut. I'm saying it right now. We saw Tom Aspinall, aka Tai Tuivasa's biggest fan, get the win in his fight, and he actually called out Bam Bam. And amazingly, it turns out that both of them are actually on the biggest finish streak in the UFC with 5 finishes. Hate to say it, because I think it's a bad matchup for Tai, but I think they will fight, you know, and I tell you what, I still think Tai could get the win if he gets that first or second round KO. Oh, and we also saw an absolute murder. What a spinning elbow KO. Molly McCann had her opponent out cold. I'm talking eyes in the back of the head and everything. What a shot. The Kiwi Dan Hooker also had a fight, coming out looking like the damn Terminator. What is that rig? Sadly lost again, unfortunately, but again, like this guy puts it, coming out like an anatomy textbook. Tough luck, Dan, but it is time to move on to the Legend of the Week, as we always do. Of course, on my Twitter, I ask you guys for your nominations for Legend of the Week, so here's who you had to say this week. We have a Lewis Hamilton nomination. We have The Mountain, Thor Bjornsson, of course. If you didn't know, Thor Bjornsson and Eddie Hall, the 2 strongest men on the planet, had a boxing fight. The Mountain did indeed win this fight, thankfully this time without, you know, imploding someone's head in. We had Charles Leclerc, we had Paddy, or I don't know, Aubameyang. Of course, El Clasico this week, Barca winning 4-0 and Aubameyang getting 2 of them. After the season Barcelona said, you sure know they've made the most of it. Cruz called out Aubameyang for her stances and celebrating, and then pulled one out at the Bernabeu. And of course, one for K-Mag as well. I mean, that also makes sense. Like, seriously, Haas were finishing dead last every race last season, and now this guy, who didn't even have a drive 2 weeks ago, comes in, gets P5 with him. You know what? I never thought I'd give Kevin Magnuson Legend of the Week, but I think I'm going to have to. This is an unbelievable story. But that'll do it for this week, people. Still plenty more to look forward to. We've got the AFL and the NRL underway now. We've got the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix literally this weekend too. And of course, the Socceroos will be playing for their place at the World Cup. Oh my God. Can you tell I'm not quite confident? I suppose time will tell, but that'll do it for this one. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good one. Catch you later, and bye-bye.